everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with my Savefile Diaries where we are working on my forever save file. So if you've seen the first episode of this, which is my last video, then you will know that I'm working on Willow Creek first, where I am aiming to keep all of the pre-made default EA sims in my game, but just with a little update. So this is the first creator sim that I'm doing with this save file, and I'm working on the BFF household as they are pre-made sims that I definitely wanted to keep in my game. This video in particular kind of fits two different series on my channels, the Savefile Diaries, but also my Sims to The Sims 4 series, where I basically remade my Sims characters in The Sims 4 with an updated style and outfits and how I would see them as actual people rather than like their little cutesy, chibi My Sims characters. In this video I work on Summer Holiday, Travis Scott and Liberty Lee, all three of them, so it is quite long, which is why I had to speed it up a lot. It was like 2 hours worth of footage, so in the future for my creator sims I'll probably do them a bit like more slower pace because I'll be working on one sim per video other than the pre-made EA households, as you guys already know who they are. But these ones I was really excited to do specifically because I'm a really big fan of the My Sims games and the My Sims franchise, and obviously their first appearance was in My Sims, so I really wanted to do them justice and give them a bit of a lore accurate update and makeover. So as you can see here, I'm working on Summer Holiday, and usually in my Sims to The Sims 4 videos I write a little script about the character in My Sims and like how I've implemented them into The Sims 4, but seeing as this is my save file diaries, I've kind of made my Summer Holiday a bit more lore accurate, and I've given her some like more personality and stuff. So I've just put some notes down of things about her from the original game, and I'm just going to go through that. Same with Travis and Liberty as well. So in My Sims, Summer is a bubbly blonde girl who loves to have fun and always tries to have a positive spirit about things. She's primarily a cheerleader while also being a minigame host, Skyforce pilot, lifeguard and Speedville's starter girl. Summer is very peppy, and also in My Sims she's described as a bubbly teen cheerleader. I've obviously made her a young adult, as that's what she is in The Sims 4, and in my version of the BFF household they're all in university but living in like shared accommodation flats or over in Willow Creek, so that's kind of where I differ a little bit. It also says that she dedicated herself to the cheer squad to the point that most of what she says are in the form of a cheer. Summer showed the cheerleading team she really had it, and now that it has been both brought and served, she can settle down. So yeah, as it said, basically everything that Summer says in My Sims is in like a cheer chant type of thing. It's kind of silly, but it's also kind of cute. It's just her, you know, she's a cheerleader and it's her whole life. Because of that, I decided to give her a cheerleading outfit as her everyday outfit, but then also a secondary outfit of something a little bit more simple. She's wearing this cute little tie-dye t-shirt. I thought tie-dye was so her. Like this like pinky blue tie-dye is just so Summer. It was perfect. So I gave that as like a secondary everyday outfit, so she's not always dressed like a cheerleader. But I felt like I had to keep the cheerleader outfit as one of her everyday wear because that is kind of just her entire character. She's literally described in the game as Summer has pale skin, blonde hair in a ponytail, and blue eyes. Summer wears a blue cheerleader outfit with wristbands on both wrists and blue shoes to go along with her outfit. So I made sure to keep that for her every day so that she was recognizable as Summer Holiday, but then also had an outfit that's a bit more casual. I also did replicate this again in her athletic wear, but made it a bit more athletic. Like she has pom-poms, she has like a sweatband on her head and everything. Like she's a lot more athletic looking compared to her everyday cheerleader outfit, if that makes sense. Okay, so on to Summer's kind of relationships. It's possible that she is Crystal's adopted sister. So Crystal is another character from My Sims who is described to have 4 sisters that are cheerleaders, but neither of the girls actually mention each other in the games. It's kind of confusing, but I don't know, I might add her into the game at some point, into like my save file, I don't know, but I thought that was quite cool. Summer's primary interest is fun, and her secondary is cute, so she loves fun things. In My Sims that kind of fit, like fun in My Sims is like sports, TV, things like that, like just fun things, guys. I don't know. Anyway, unfortunately for Summer Holiday, her primary lore in the My Sims game is the fact she's in a love triangle with Travis Scott and Liberty Lee. Because a girl can't escape the clutches of a storyline involving a man, of course. I'm joking. This specific love triangle is actually quite sweet, as rather than it being these two girls are competing for Travis's love and affection, it's actually more of the fact that both Summer and Liberty are really good friends and they both hype each other up. There's, in one of the games, I think it's My Sims Kingdom, you get to decide who Travis goes to the dance with, whether it's Summer or Liberty, and whoever wins, the other girl is like, I'm so happy for her, she looks so happy. Like, they're really good friends and they are not competing at all, which I really, really like about this specific love triangle. This is referenced in The Sims 4 in the BFF's little household description type of thing, that they're in a love triangle, which I think is good they kept in, but they just didn't give it any kind of depth whatsoever. If you go into the BFF household, the three of them are just acquaintances. There is no evidence that any of them are even friends, let alone have feelings for each other. So that's something I'm going to make changes to when I finish, obviously, creating the characters. I'm going to go in and change their relationships to make them a bit more lore accurate. I also kept her colour scheme that you see throughout My Sims. I gave her, like, obviously the blue cheerleader outfit, but then I also mixed in some pink and yellow, as they're kind of the colours you can see on her wristbands and stuff in My Sims, and I just feel like they're the colours that she would like, especially because in My Sims the fun interest is primarily yellow and the cute interest is primarily pink. So I thought I'll give her blue for her cheerleader outfit, and then we'll mix in some pink and yellow to match that. And I also made sure not to change her features too much, like her face. I want her to be recognisable as the My Sims version of Sims 4, like Summer Holiday, if that makes any sense. I still want her to look like Summer Holiday, but I just fixed some of her proportions and made her more my style of sim, and I think she looks really, really cute. Here, by the way, you can obviously see the more athletic version of her everyday outfit with a proper cheerleading outfit. I feel like her everyday is more of like a cheerleading inspired outfit, and then her athletic is like her actual cheer wear that she would wear to, like, I don't know, a cheer competition, or I don't know what cheerleading even is. Anyway, so that was Summer, and she's so beautiful. I made sure to keep in some of the tie-dye that I thought suited her. And then I moved on to good old Travis. Travis, what did EA do to you, my friend? First of all, can I just say, when creating these Sims, I realised that the Sims, like the EA, has a really bad problem with proportions. Like, both Travis and Summer look like brother and sister because they both had faces that were, like, drooped. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but they didn't look right. They looked very, very similar because they had the exact same features and the exact same positions on their face, and I was like, who designed these? Anyway, enough hating. Let's talk about Travis Scott, not the rapper, the Sim. So Travis is a young man with a good heart. He loves to play party. He loves to party and have fun, and is always up to date with the newest cell phones. He used to be CEO of a party supply company before retiring at a young age. He's a student at the Royal Academy and a journalist for the Sims World Racing magazine. He's also a minigame host and is the very first recruit for the Sim Protection Agency. So basically, Travis is a massive geek who loves to go out to the club. That is basically his entire personality. His primary interest is fun and his secondary interest is geeky, and he dislikes cute. So this is a bit of like a tension between both Summer and Liberty because they both like cute and he does not. Low-key, Travis is a cool guy, right? I dressed him in like kind of a geeky, nerdy style, which is kind of cute. He's fashionable, like he has style, but I think at the same time he doesn't think he does. He just throws on whatever he thinks that looks nice and comfortable and just goes along with it. And as much as I do like Travis, I really think that both Summer and Liberty could do better. Like, Travis does not like either of them back, according to the My Sims lore. The only girls he actually mentions liking are DJ Candy, Annie Rad, and Ginny. Pirate Ginny, which is just so random. In the actual My Sims game lore, it is said that Summer and Liberty both have a one-sided crush on Travis. Travis does not actually like either of them back, but obviously in My Sims Kingdom, you decide which one of them he takes to the dance. So you can decide for him to like one of them back, but he actually doesn't really care for either of them, which is really sad. He loves a fun girly. Like, some of his dialogue says, dude, DJ Candy is the best DJ on the planet, seriously, and she's kind of cute. He also says, dude, Annie Rad is the coolest rock star ever, seriously, and she's kind of cute. And he also says, hey, have you met Pirate Ginny? Now there's a girl who knows how to have fun, and she's kind of cute. And then at star level 5, he says, do you like my hair blonde? If I'm hitting the clubs, I gotta have nice hair. He just wants a fun girly, and I don't know if Summer or Liberty really do that for him, but they definitely both have aspects that he would love. Summer is a fun girly, but maybe not like a clubbing fun girly, more of like I like cheerleading fun girly. And Liberty is a little geek, and here she is, so I'm gonna start yapping about her now. Personally, I think Liberty, my girl, was done the dirtiest by the EA team in the BFF household. Summer, she was alright. Maybe she was a bit boring compared to her My Sims counterpart, but she still had a colour scheme, she had a blonde hair, she looked pretty accurate. Travis, you know, maybe a little bit off the mark, but not as bad as Liberty. Liberty, oh my god, she lost all of her personality, all of her uniqueness, everything, and it actually hurts my heart. Even including the fact that they completely changed her skin tone. In My Sims, has a lot darker skin, a lot more tanned. In The Sims 4, she's just basically been whitewashed. She is so much paler, so that was also something I made sure to fix. So Liberty is described as a girl who is obsessed with snakes and often states strange facts about them. She's known to wear very unique clothing. Liberty is a student of the Royal Academy, where she and Summer both have a crush on Travis. She really likes nature and of course snakes. Liberty wants to ask Travis to the school dance, but she's too shy to do so, and she asks the Royal Wanderer, I don't know how to say that, to do it for her. Liberty is also a client and potential recruit for the Sim Protection Agency. So again, she loves snakes, she loves facts about snakes, and she has an incredibly free spirit for which she was named after. So basically, she's a funky hippie girl who loves nature, she loves snakes, and she loves funky clothing, right? So I really wanted to replicate this. Obviously, snakes is a little bit hard to put onto a Sims avatar. I did also try and incorporate snakes and reptiles into her house as much as I could, but that is so difficult. There are no snake-themed things in The Sims 4 at all. I scoured debug and everything. There's just nothing. I had so much fun making Liberty because she is literally not like anything that I have made before. She's so out of my style. I always kind of either go for Sims that are very like me, like more of an alternative style, or kind of the total opposite, like Summer, very girly and preppy. Liberty is a cool in between. She's alternative in her own way, and she's got her own funky style, which I really enjoyed creating. I can't remember where I saw this and if it's even true or accurate to the game lore, but I heard somewhere that the little plaster she wears on her nose is because of a snake bite. She was holding a snake once and it bit her on the nose, so she had to wear a plaster on her nose to cover that up. I thought that was cute, and it's a prevalent part of her My Sims character design, so I added it to the Sims 4 version. Her outfits hurt my eyes a bit, and I feel to the untrained eye who doesn't know Liberty Lee, it looks like something a 9-year-old would make, and they probably think none of this matches. But that is unfortunately kind of the point. If you look at My Sims version of Liberty Lee, her outfit doesn't make any sense. It doesn't really go together whatsoever, but I just think that's her charm, that's the point. And I made sure to give her a secondary everyday outfit like I did with Travis and Summer, because I like it when they have a bit of freedom of what they wear on a daily basis. I think it's cute. So once again, unfortunately, a big part of Liberty's storyline is her crush on Travis. But as I said, her and Summer are very, very supportive of each other, despite the fact they're very, very different. They don't have anything in common at all, actually, apart from their secondary interest of cute. That's the only thing they have in common. I've always felt as though Liberty was more of a better fit for Travis. Travis is a geeky computer guy, and Liberty's primary interest is geeky. She's also very much into video games and fun facts and nerdy stuff. In My Sims, it actually says she dislikes the studious interest, which I think is really weird, because in My Sims, studious Sims are bookworms. They love books, they love reading, they love gathering information, they love being smart, right? And I think that is a big part of Liberty's personality, but I guess that My Sims kind of interpreted her fun fact loving self and her love for snakes and reptiles as a geeky thing rather than a studious thing, which I understand totally, but at the same time I kind of interpreted it myself as she is a big fan of those big fun fact books and what's the word, and non-fiction informational books about reptiles. I think she'd love them. I think she'd have an entire bookshelf full of them, in my opinion. But despite all her geeky interests, her and Travis still don't have too much in common despite that. Obviously, as I've said, Travis seems to like people like DJ Candy and Pirate Ginny, who are more of a fun, music-loving, clubbing, going out type girls. I don't think Liberty would be like that at all, to be honest with you. In my opinion, she's more of a let's watch TV, play some video games, and learn about snakes together type of girl. So, as I said, I think both her and Summer could do better. I think they can find someone that fits them way better than Travis, but for some reason they're just all over this guy. What is it about Travis freaking Scott? Not the rapper, the Sim. I don't know, but the time lapse is coming to the end now, so I really hope you like my interpretation of these 3 Sims. I will put on the screen a cute little picture that I took of them, and I'm really excited for you to see what I did with their house and where they live, because that will be the next episode of the Savefile Diaries. It will be their housing, and I'm so excited for you to see that. Here they are, guys. Here are my little babies. I love them to bits. If you want to know some more info about them, I'm going to post a short of each of the Sims and their interests, their traits, everything like that, so that you can find out a bit more information about them, so make sure you go and check those out. If you like this style of video, make sure you go and check out my Sims to the Sims 4 Create a Sim series, where I do this with a bunch of different characters from the My Sims series, not just the BFFs. I've done Poppy, I've done Violet Nightshade, I've done DJ Candy, Candy, who was mentioned in this video. So if you'd like to see that, then check that playlist. Please make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up to date with my Sims 4 Savefile diaries and my Forever Save, which I'm really excited to keep working on. If you want to check me out on any other socials, they are on the screen now. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time.